Okay, we got a crazy story here. A man walked inside of a Waffle House, naked from the waist down, with an assault rifle, and he just started shooting at people. He, 4 people were killed, and 2 people were shot. And apparently the guy who did it, he had no motive. He doesn't know any of the victims. And the crazy thing about it is that they said that he had also been arrested for trying to go to the White House because apparently he wanted to set up a meeting with Donald Trump. And he was arrested by the Secret Service. And when they arrested him, they said that they had found 4 guns on him. Now, apparently they returned the guns to his father, but the father claimed that he gave the guns back to him. So this man was arrested before, and they gave the guns back. Then he took the guns and he goes and he shoots up a Waffle House. And he's also butt naked at the same time. One of the customers had subdued the shooter, and he got him on the ground and they started wrestling for the gun, and they were fighting and scuffling. And I guess the dude, he ended up getting burns on his hands from trying to grab the barrel of the gun because it was so hot from the shooting. And I think they said that the guy, he had shot him, but he only grazed him in the shoulder. And he said once they were fighting, and he got the better of him, and he got the gun, he tossed it over the counter, and then he pushed the shooter outside, and apparently the shooter, he had ran away. Now, the police are still looking for him, but man, this is a crazy story right here. The dude just walks in butt naked and starts shooting up a Waffle House. Yeah, that's some crazy shit right there. This is terrorism. That's what it is. It's terrorism. Call it how you see it. That's how I see it. And some people will sit here and try to make excuses for him, but at the end of the day, he's a grown-ass man. He's 29 years old. He has to answer for what he does. But let me know in the comments, you know what I'm saying, your opinions about this. All right, I'm out.
Nashville looking for Travis Reinking. The 29-year-old is suspected of shooting 6 people, killing 4 of them at this Waffle House restaurant in Antioch, Tennessee, early this morning.
This lunatic in a pickup pulled up. He got out with an assault rifle, wearing only a jacket, nothing from the waist down. Really just craziness. And he shot a customer who was about to go in the door, and then he shot my friend who was trying to get away on the sidewalk.
Police said Reinking then went inside the Waffle House and shot 2 more people. During a pause in the gunfire, this man, James Shaw Jr., charged the suspect and grabbed the AR-15 rifle.
We started kind of wrestling for it and scuffling and fighting for it. And after he let it go with one hand, and then when he just had it in his other hand, I just took it and I tossed it over the counter.
Police said Reinking then ran from the Waffle House, possibly stopping at his apartment to put on pants. Police surrounded his home but did not find Reinking inside. Reinking was known to law enforcement. The Secret Service said he was arrested last July in D.C. after crossing a barrier near the White House. An agent says Reinking hoped to set up a meeting with President Trump. FBI and local police were made aware of the arrest. Officials said 4 guns were taken from Reinking during that investigation. They were later returned to his father, who admitted giving them back to his son. Reinking moved to Nashville in the fall. Police confirmed 2 of the guns are unaccounted for, and the 29-year-old could still be armed. Police have released the names of the 4 people who died. They are 29-year-old Torian C. Sanderlin, a cook at the restaurant, 20-year-old Joe R. Perez, 21-year-old Diebony Groves, and 23-year-old Aquila De Silva. 21-year-old Shanita Wagner and 24-year-old Sharita Henderson were treated for gunshot wounds but are expected to survive. Police say they don't believe the gunman knew any of the victims. The shooting appears random and the motive remains unclear. Back to you.
I feel like I'm gonna wake up, even though I feel this pain in my hand, it still doesn't feel real. But now it's kind of like people say I saved a bunch of lives, but there's still, you know, people that died, so it still kind of hurts. And I saw those people, so it's a little difficult.
I just see you look tired.
Yes, sir.
What was it like in there? What?
It was pretty chaotic. When we first sat down, pretty much thought that some plates had fell. And then it was another loud, you know, shatter. And then that was the glass that was behind us. And then I looked behind me, and there was a gentleman outside on the sidewalk. And then kind of jumped towards the bathroom, and the shooter or suspect entered. He shot towards the bathroom. Pretty sure he grazed my arm, at least that's what they say in the hospital. His gun either got jammed or he was trying to reload. Not exactly sure, but I saw my opportunity in my window. So I took it, and I ran through the door as fast as I can, and just kind of jammed him up with the gun when it pointed down. And then we started kind of wrestling for it and scuffling and fighting for it. And after he let it go with one hand, and then when he just had it in his other hand, I just took it and I tossed it over the counter, and I pretty much removed him out of the restaurant with myself, and then he kind of walked off by himself.
So you pushed him out of the restaurant?
Yes.
I mean, what were you thinking about as this was all happening?
It wasn't really really wasn't a process of thinking. It was more so of a now.
Did you get shot too? Or what happened? How did the hand injury?
So my hand is injured. I think they said it was kind of like third-degree burns, but this is because I grabbed a barrel after he was shooting people, and it was hot. So I just grabbed it, I pointed it down, and then somehow I kind of tussled with him and got it up in the air. And then I got it out of his reach, and then I threw it over the counter, and then he was pretty much, I don't want to say helpless, but he was disarmed at the time. So that was pretty much the end of that threat.